Of course, the microphone decided to not work. But yeah, so as I was saying before, it turns out the microphone wasn't on at all. So I've been streaming like 2 times a day, sometimes even 4 hours or more during those hours a day. It's been like what 3-4 weeks that I've been doing that. Keeping up with my promise of streaming more. However, the last 4 days, I of course ran into the inevitability where I had other stuff to do and couldn't stream. So that just happens. But don't worry, streams aren't like slowing down. I'm gonna still be attempting to keep the pace up. Except this will be the only stream for today. I won't have another evening stream tomorrow. However, there will be a day stream and an evening stream again, and then day streams on Wednesday and Thursday probably. Maybe not Wednesday. I honestly don't know. However, we're back. Streaming is not going to be slowing down. This is just, I finally had some stuff to do. So where we last left off with the Great Ace Attorney, where we were trying to finish case number 2, I thought we were almost going to be done, and we were going to be wrapping it up and pointing out some things needing it done. However, I overlooked the inevitability of the fact that there was a 4th person introduced in this case who was not in the courtroom with us. And I should have guessed that we were going to get her into the courtroom. However, I didn't think it would be so ham-fistedly weird how we would have gotten her into the courtroom by bringing up a unknown person, like who is completely unrelated to this particular case, except was in the case we had literally tried the day before with the same defendant, and kind of been like, well, she could have murdered him, and there's no other connection in the case besides us just randomly bringing up her name. We haven't even connected her to the case at all. The only thing connecting her is us randomly accusing her as being a possibility of the one who did it, when literally one of the gas company guys had said and told us that he had been literally watching the victim, or the supposed victim of the crime, Mr. Shamsphere, the entire night. He had been literally looking through the brick hole in the thing and watching him the entire night. And we're saying, oh no, there's someone else who could have poisoned him, who could have known about him on the pipes. Not the person who's been watching him and knowing he's been had his mouth on the pipes, but someone completely else who definitely fucking wouldn't know, especially with like the case connection is he's been blackmailing her, Miss Greens, I assume. And it's because of that she knows what he's been doing. But how would she know that he's even sucking on the pipes, blowing them out? Wouldn't she only know, like, they just went to dinner? Unless they're trying to say, well, he's looking for the secret treasure her son stole before he died. And now I don't know how we're supposed to be getting this around. This is very, very off. The first half of the Ace Attorney games was solid. The first case in this one was solid. But this second case where they're trying to, it feels like they're kind of adding in an extra case that never really happened, but now they're trying to make it fit a story. It's very off. It's just very off, but we're going to have to take the suspension of disbelief, stick it to the side, and just go through whatever the fucking game wants to tell us for the story and hope it gets better again. And hope it continues actually making better connections instead of these kind of very strange ass pulls. So, that's what we're picking back up with. Ooh. 23rd February, 11 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks!
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, and non-locum judicial assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquires. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I am innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent.
Ah, good morning, my dear fellows.
Herlock Sholmes. May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent.
I thought the tea was innocent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. Please, save your derision. I know that what you're thinking. Good morning, he says, when it is very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces.
Nobody said or thought anything of the sort.
The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. A sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. Arise early and be present in the court of my support and support of my compatriots. Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not? Oh, yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is not now an astute insight into the matter? Oh, yes? Upon which realization I attempted to experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted, and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Shocking. And so, the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
Yep, I think most of us probably knew that already.
What others presume, I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Ah.
Yes,
Of course, it's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday.
oh, you didn't manage to... It was a laborious task, as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it contains strychnine.
So, I was right.
Perhaps, though of course, such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended.
The bottle of poison has been entered into the court record.
Oh, could I have a word? Gregson, how good of you to come.
Oh, excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector.
I, don't wish to make a nuisance of myself.
A look on your face that say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself.
My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I am not alone.
But hey, mate, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me.
Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation in Mr. Shamsphere's room?
Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually.
Oh, you mean the man from the newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamsphere's room?
A man by the name of... yes, Selden.
I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector, what?
I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves.
Thank you. The capital offender's file has been entered into the court record.
These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamsphere's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information.
Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though?
Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, ain't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown.
A shining diamond? In the rough, maybe.
Look, I don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all.
Good guy, Gregson.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant.
Fuck you, I'm reading the court record. You thought I was gonna actually read his lines. A bottle found in possession of Miss Green with the traces of the slow-acting poison strychnine. So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Strychnine. There are a few remnants at the bottom of the bottle. Here, look.
You mustn't be tempted to try it.
Of course not, as long as we don't lose this trial.
No, even if we lose this trial. No, we mustn't lose this trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo.
Make your mind up, Sasato-san. Got notes filed by the convicted criminal Selden that includes a newspaper article of him dying of illness in prison. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder, died of natural causes whilst in prison, his final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. Great, can't wait to find out that he's the Russian revolutionary. Now, the estimated 1,000 pound worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strangeways prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours of the morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead, before his capital punishment could be carried out. Witnessed only by his cellmate. That's not suspicious and will not come back in any way.
Time for the defense and the defendant. Hot proceedings about to resume. Make your way to the courtroom at once.
Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gathering, and not nodding off at all. Certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache and flows of tears personally, so best of luck to you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire!
Yes, Mr. Natsume?
It's time, isn't it?
Yep, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamsphere. This is going to be the final battle. Yay, then this character can go away forever. I won't really have saved Sosuke-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to head now. You can do it, Runosuke. You have to. (23rd of February, 12:30 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom.
In the name of Her Majesty, the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. Before the recess, we had a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, a complete person who was not even known to the court, except for being a victim in the last case, was randomly brought up as being the murderer. We haven't even tied her to the case or how she could have possibly been the one, but he said it, so fuck it, I'm allowing it. This is the bit of the old judge coming back. Not only am I not, instead of actually asking for proof this time, I'm saying fuck it, anything goes, kangaroo court. Namely, that the victim of the case we've heard there only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident.
A reckless, rash, and prejudiciated charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
Thank you for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment from the Honorable British Prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand?
Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in.
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shamsphere, my liege. For fine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words. I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit she's got no talent, suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words.
What is your profession? I'm a small streamer.
And currently unemployed, I see.
What a courtier.
Mr. Shakespeare, Mr. Shamsphere.
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part of you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green,
Yes?
you are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this court today, I presume?
Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
And do you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man.
Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly, pea-pigmented personage.
Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being, to ascertain whether or not Mrs. Green is involved in this affair.
It's all very strange. Very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely got to the East End anyway. So it happens that I passed by the neighbourhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Garrett household. An incident that rendered you unconsciousness for some 3 days.
I was stuck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Oh, your energies may be better spent worrying about your random knife attacks, I feel, Mrs. Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamsphere's lodgings on the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally of how exactly that happened.
Oh no. The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful accident?
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamsphere.
But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Let us proceed then. 2 witnesses will present their formal testimony in the court. On the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February.
The evening of 17th of February.
It was 6 days ago. At about 4 p.m., I was walking along the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the man in this case had their lodgings.
I was at the tavern on the eve of which you speakest, for I had bespoke my supper.
It was the first time I'd been out in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all that business.
Yes, a second incident inside a week, what I believe to be described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is the most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamsphere. 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the desired events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine. When Sosuke-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these 2 witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not too sure. Sorry if you heard that burp. Oh god, I did not mean to. I didn't know that one was coming. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these 2 witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord.
It was 6 days ago, at about 4 p.m., I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back.
Hold it! I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. And I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit arrested.
Wait, they really did arrest his wife? Huh.
Yes, the incident was resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream and that ended with your waking, and should now be forgotten. Yes, I suppose. Thank you.
But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth about this new case.
The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the man in this case had the lodgings. Hold it!
What were you doing there that day, though? One thing I gotta say that I think I've said before, but I gotta say it again, I really, really like how after you press a witness, whatever they're ending their the press with always leads into their next statement. Like that's I find just really awesome how they actually like end it, not just like abruptly and then go to the next thing. They end it as they're literally transitioning into the next testimony. It's been really cool seeing that.
What do you mean?
The art school you attend. What's it called?
Ah, yes. It's the Thorndyke Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene of the underground.
I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road. Is that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
Well, it's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I happen to like crumbling look at the part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a bit less granting term.
The point is, she's definitely hiding something.
Yes, it seems she's going to be not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, it must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know it. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamsphere, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing?
'Twould be my pleasure, sire. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper. Hold it!
A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the Slug and Salad, why did tarry? 'Tis a jewel in the East End.
And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks?
The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining, for the locality at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness. I would have expected grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, scoopy water and pea like mush.
I mean, mushy peas is a fucking British staple, so I don't know what you're talking about. All equally appetizing. Man, this makes me want to do Scrandle. All equally appetizing.
And I was just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that?
How different can water really be?
Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment?
Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days, he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamsphere's own actions the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. I need to relook at the court. It's been a while. Do we have... We don't have, like, the letter with Miss Green in it, do we? No, we don't have the letter that was written to Miss Green. We're definitely going to be using that up for their passing. This is to connect. I assume once we get the evidence that she has, the letter that's the blackmail, we'll say we found this in his room. This is the same color as what Mrs. Green had. Or maybe it's the exact match for what was in Mrs. Green has that was opened up in the room with him. But I don't think anything else in here is going to actually be the evidence we're looking for yet. I think we're going to have to press everything, and then after that we can. So I got to remember that this exists. And if we don't get any new evidence, then I have to figure out what the fuck we're trying to actually do. I wish we did, but sadly, I can't think of anything at the moment.
If we find a clue that would explain why Mr. Shamsphere went there, we must present it to the court.
Yes, absolutely.
If that is all in this matter, counsel, I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all.
Hold it! What is that matter? Yeah. What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning.
If you remember you mentioning it to us yesterday at the hospital.
Ah.
It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green. What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
What does that matter?
What?
This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Excuse me.
Mr. Shamsphere, do you have something to share with the court? Did you bring enough gum for everyone? To be or not to be, that is the question. Pray forgive me of the great bard's word springeth from me within ne'er thought. Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Yeah, this series definitely hates being possessed. No, remember, if he was being possessed by a spirit, the way that this game series logic works, he would literally transform into William Shakespeare. Just like when Mia gets possessed by Maya and suddenly gains 3 cup sizes. Like, you literally turn into the person you're possessed by. That I am convinced that's how it works. Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps. Well, say, sire, was nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would it were so, but sadly, nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me. So, you haven't heard of him, even though you passed away, even though he passed away in a room just above yours?
Ah, Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it on your person?
I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please.
There we go. Miss Green's card has been entered into the court record. Of course. That's what links Mr. Shamsphere and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with the testimony, please, Miss Green.
Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital, so I knew nothing about all that business.
A note in the envelope that seems to have been ripped open, rather so roughly. It contains instructions to meet someone who claims to have information about Duncan Ross. And hey ho, wouldn't you know, that looks suspiciously like it matches this. Damn. Who would have seen that coming? The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that.
Ah, what is it?
The way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen it the exact same shape somewhere else.
Oh, you don't mean... You were thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruhodo?
Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up.
They go together perfectly. Its torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card.
The details of Miss Green's card have been updated in the court record. Updated Miss Green's card report. The details of the torn off end of envelope have been updated. Now, can we read it? Why aren't we reading it? Are we really holding this off to read it for later? Really, game? Really? We're not just reading it? Ugh. Whatever.
Hold it!
Yes, you didn't regain consciousness until the day after the trial, did you? In the early hours.
Exactly. So how could I have had anything to do with it? And yet you still haul me in here to court like this? Honestly?
So at the time of the poisoning, the witness was unconscious in her hospital bed. Could there be a more airtight alibi, I ask you?
And yet, in spite of that, you claim I was the culprit?
Well,
But you certainly haven't produced any evidence to support your wild claim, have you? None at all?
There you have it. The good lady has yet to see evidence. My learned imp and his friend. I'm working on it. Counsel, I will point out here that the jury's next decision will be final. We're really up against the wall here.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you pursued Mr. Shamsphere wonderfully there.
It worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. Alright, now I need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere.
Well, as you managed to expose this promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that.
Yes, of course. And yelling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. I was at the tavern. Yeah, here we go.
Hold it!
Now we'll just speed through this. Mr. Shamsphere. Yes, sire. On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason? I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest. Very well, I'll present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day, namely...
Take that!
I believe this card reveals the answer.
Good lord, Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I've information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anyone else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamsphere, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamsphere? Well...
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green?
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this old man, does it?
Well, you'd think so, yes. But it's hard to believe it's merely...
My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well, then. You may amend your testimony to include details about that particular note.
So it looks like we were about to get somewhere and now it's derailing again for whatever reason. But whatever.
This note was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the old man next to me here.
Hold it! I think you said that you received it the day before the incident, didn't you?
Yes, that's right.
There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or address on the envelope.
It was in my letterbox. That's all I know. I'm afraid I got no idea who sent it.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who is Duncan Ross, please?
A friend of mine. He attended the same art school as I do. He passed away with a tragic accident a month ago now, though. I wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest, but in the end, I decided to go.
So you found out what information was?
Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight.
Whilst on her way there, she was stabbed in the back. As my learned friend hopefully remembers. Yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you pursued Mr. Shamester wonderfully there.
It worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. Alright, now I need to pull off an insightful objection somewhere.
Objection!
I'm assuming this is where we put this in there. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions of the note, you found yourself in hospital.
Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that's happened to me.
Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, is it?
And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received.
Where did you find that?
In Mr. Shamsphere's room. In my room? Mr. Shamsphere, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamsphere. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green?
Oh, what did I do?
As this torn off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamsphere's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession?
Oh, I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all.
There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamsphere's room and stole it. You did what, Si? What? Why hast what? You broke, I mean, thou were in my room. What on earth do you want with me? It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Miss Green.
Yes?
Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law would be duly punished. Please bear that in mind.
Yes, I know.
Very well then, witnesses. I will give you formal testimony again. There we go. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received.
The anomaly of the note. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, pre-adventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day written therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished.
I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here, and as that's torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamsphere?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord, and I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was...
A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying.
I beg your pardon.
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address, besides. We all know who the liar around here is.
If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shamsphere's room.
I don't see why I should explain.
Sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to say just what happened, that's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth.
Well, counsel?
I'm ready, my lord.
Very well then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witness.
Miss Green, clearly did break into Mr. Shamsphere's room. There can only be question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. Yes, two facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all this. And it's not a pretty one. The anomaly of the note. I do remember now, 'twas a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me.
Hold it!
And you can shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as my own, verily 'tis impenetrable. But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Alack, if the choices betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted. Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug Salad. Presumably that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature. Marry, naught will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end my curiosity was not sated. On the day writ therein I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came.
Hold it!
So even after waiting an hour, nobody appeared? Well, yes, sire, 'tis as thou sayest. Really? You paused for a moment before you answered. In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? What do you mean? Tell the court that somebody appeared after all.
I was not alone that night at Slug and Salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions. What do you mean? Flies, sire, flies.
Good lord.
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream, come to taunt me. I think they were just flies.
I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me?
Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished.
Hold it!
When exactly did you notice it had gone missing? Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing into the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room. Yes, it would appear that the note disappeared sometime in the interval. Such idle thoughts now occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. And yet, during that time, Miss Green was comatose in the hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamstier's room.
Oh, yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir?
No, obviously the answer is you were leaving his house when you got stabbed in the back by the knife. You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as how you came by the note.
Ah,
I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
oh dearie me.
What is Lord Van Zieks getting at?
I don't know what you mean. I think I snuck into this man's room. Do you? Why would I?
It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamsphere about 1 week ago.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for your breaking into Mr. Shamsphere's lodging.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possessions of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in the case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamsphere's room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing.
What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though?
Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo.
We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough.
I can point out the villain here, and as for that torn off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Hold it!
So, you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it?
I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters.
Introverted, fine. This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wings. Oh, pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman?
Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure.
Tragedy, thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. On the days, oh the years, at last to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain.
Mr. Naruhodo, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine.
I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mrs. Sato. No. As far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument
is evidence, yes. It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamsphere's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes. Two more or less foregone conclusions that led me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying?
Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Okay, so we're back at the beginning. I do remember now, it was a week ago, pre-adventure, that the note was delivered on to me. On the day right there within, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, but nobody came. On the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean, I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? This is the question she's asking, why would I? This seemingly would be the best time to interject with something. It's probably this. Unless it's supposed to be talking about the person that she knew that died. Like, why would I? Because of this guy in the photo right here. This is why you would have done it. I don't know if I should be presenting this now, though, or not. Probably, though. You think I snuck into his man's room? Why would I? I can point the villain here, and as far as turn off a piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it, except that you had it on you. Therefore, you of course know about it. Yep. Don't worry, Stormpike. I know you're here. So, yeah, I think maybe that it's just supposed to be the image of that card.
Objection!
No, it's not over. Fuck. Alright. My lord, there are clearly grounds for being suspicious of that last statement. I'm sorry, counsel, but I fail to see why. Well, you know, I was just playing devil's advocate. Yes, yeah, whatever. I don't know what you mean. You think I stuck in this man's room? Why would I? Figured I'd show her her picture of her fiance who died there. Would be a reason why you'd be in there. I can point out the villain here. As for the torn off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I'm not really sure what evidence I'm supposed to be presenting for what here. Maybe it would have been more clear if I played this in a row, maybe? In this room to you? Why would I? Her question, why would I, seems like the perfect spot to be like, this is why. Are we just supposed to show the poison bottle and be like, because you were going to poison him? And you just so happen to find the letter while you're in there. I don't want to spam. I don't want to spam though, but I might have to. Because you're there to poison him.
Objection!
It was the bottle of poison, okay. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle, and through the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained.
Oh.
According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Wrong voice for him. Want? No, still. It's me, it's Vampire, there we go. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamsphere.
No.
Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover up the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamsphere's room with poison.
Can this be?
You broke into my room to... It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there is only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to make Mr. Shamsphere's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Oh dear, oh dearie. Me!
Let me take a quick drink, one second.
Order! Order! Counsel, you're seriously suggesting this woman put poison at the end of the gas pipe with her intent to kill?
Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts.
But if Miss Green did intend to set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely.
Well, that's a very good point, unless he just never put his mouth on the fucking pipe. Perhaps not, my lord.
I beg your pardon, huh?
There was a significant police presence at the area that evening on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoings at that time. Lord Van Zeeks, why are you saying the thing I should have noticed?
And of course, the following morning there was more activity at Mr. Shamsfield's address.
Literally us. We were there. More activity. Ah, yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder.
That's right. And the defense has already proposed. Mr. Shamsfield was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself. To cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsume's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant.
But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamsfield had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe. His intended victim being in the prison cell, with the no need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant.
And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
Right. Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end.
A trial in which the man was stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamsfield was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present in the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this letter was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and what the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time. To make sure I wasn't home. Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that we shouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say that letter was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. The real question now is, how would she have known to do that? Order! Order!
What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times during the course of this trial. So, that's what's behind all this.
You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind the woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
Okay, the criminal isn't here, so it's got to be him.
Take that!
Duncan Ross.
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garretev's, somebody else was renting the room, Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I'd heard that name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings.
That does ring a vague. Ah, of course, yes. I remember now. A young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamsphere's blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder, plain and simple.
No. Huh? Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses. Curious deaths, that's all people care about. If it's an interesting story they want to know, it doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they are bored, just 1 month later, their story lost its appeal. Everyone's forgotten him.
You mean you, Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamsphere. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry.
Marry?
Miss Green. Is it not the case? Then, in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shamsphere, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe.
This is all quite extraordinary. I'm correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel. Each on different counts of murder.
Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend, has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shamsphere have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. 'Tis lies, I deny every utterance. And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruhodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either.
Miss Green.
I'm sure you all think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason?
I thought I'd have to look around, that's all.
Sorry?
You're right. I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in this room. Evidence that it was him who took Duncan's life.
Oh, villainous, oh, villainy, oh, tyranny, oh, rotundity of woman. But in any case, where I leave the room, I do turn the key in the lock.
That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some terps and a piece of wire.
Oh, awfulness, oh, artfulness, oh, tyranny, oh, profanity of woman. We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion. But for now, tell the court what you found, that evidence you searched revealed. Also, give me 1 second, I'll be right back, guys.
Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place.
Eh? Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found the newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Oh, yes, well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it?
Yes. This rather nice key.
What? What are you doing with that? What the?
Every ounce of color is drained from his face.
Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine! I inherited it!
What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it?
No, I, What's this all about? He inherited that key?
It was obviously important to you, since you'd gone to such lengths to hide it, so I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care.
Give it back this minute! Give it to me! Arm yourself, witness! So, Mr. Shamsphere has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamsphere, at first. But considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it.
What?
I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard, because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all of these events. In that case, counsel, I demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can be explained? The motivation for Mr. Shamsphere's alleged crimes?
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not?
The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that?
Selden?
Now,
The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant, Mr. Natsume, have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for the involvement in multiple burglaries.
I see.
And it so happens that the convicted Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum £1,000 worth of loot that he had stolen, which as yet remains to be found.
Yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. It's written in the file here.
£1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the paper summed it up.
And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with the most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in.
Ah, you mean this key is...
Mr. Shamsphere, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? It's a false charge, I tell you, a false charge.
The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but the simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if that's true, why would this man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot.
So, it all comes out.
Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamsphere's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense.
When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, He made immediately for Mr. Gerardev's lodgings in the hope of retaining Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice, because Selden's old room had already been let to someone else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Oh, which is why Mr. Shamsford subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it.
Mr. Sosuke Natsume, the defendant in this case, no less.
So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamsphere? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason: to get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. No. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck.
Looks like I'm going to snuff it before they stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers from getting their hands on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stayed one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shamsphere.
It's mine.
What did he just say?
It's mine. That loot is mine.
Okay.
Don't mind me. I'm going to put on my villain face and do the villain voice now. It is time for me to show that I am evil by not have always just being evil, but now I shall reveal my hideous true face.
Mr. Sandsphere.
It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I am the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? And if I didn't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me, for the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it. And I almost got a taste, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I just give up?
There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through.
But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo.
There is a way.
Pardon?
There's one way I can finish him.
Oh, or no.
He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first.
A fine plan, were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
Oh, without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly.
This is the final piece in the complex puzzle, but I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where the loot is hidden. My lord.
Yes, counsel.
The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that can give us a clue to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then.
Well, very well, counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased victim's haul?
I don't know. What are we doing? We'll use poison. We'll use the gas meter. We'll use teacups. We'll use soap. I am unsure what they mean. I am unsure what they actually mean here. Are we saying we can use Mr. Are we saying we use the skin prints, I guess? So it's the picture?
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamster's handprints on the wall of those lodgings.
That's right, my lord. I almost forgot about the skin prints until I saw the picture for a second. I went, ah, yeah, I remembered. Okay, yeah. I forgot we in fact did use that before. Yes, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes.
The great detective, was that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamsphere. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ah, 'tis Herlock Sholmes himself.
What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since we last met.
Mr. Sholmes? He does know Lord Van Zeeks then. Well, for real they say something like that. Well enough to say something like that in any case.
Mr. Sholmes, I thought you may be heralded as a great detective of the population at large. That does not give you the right to come in and go at my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I can recall them. I call them skin prints, my lord.
My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny.
It's the method by which we're able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities.
No.
You only need a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ah, yes.
What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
Thank you for offering to help.
Mr. Sholmes, you need to use the key that Mrs. Green has, even though it's been touched by like 3 other people. When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soskison's room. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What? We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take? There's no person that would count. Like, no one here the old criminal would have touched. So I don't see it being a person. What would the only thing I could see would be the key, and the key doesn't, unless you're talking about the gas meter in his room. He would have been touching the gas meter to stay warm, I guess. Would that be it? He would have been touching the gas meter? I would have said the key, but that's not evidence here. Unless we're supposed to present a person? Olive Green, because she has the key? And he would have, of course, touched the key? I'm gonna just do a preemptive, just in case I don't have to sit through a whole bunch of bullshit. I'm going to assume it's present a person and it's Miss Green. Because she has the key. We will need something of Selden's in order to create the indicated solution to find his loot. And something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listening. Okay, good. They're directly saying it here. And not like making me guess and then saying this afterwards. Good. This is a good order to do this. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, what particular person do you have in mind? From who can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution?
Take that!
Miss Green.
Oh, me? What you want with me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
Sorry?
That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use, even though it's been touched, like I said, by you and Mr. Shamsphere. So it's anything that the Selden left on there is probably gone at this point. But we're just, suspending disbelief. Who cares? He did touch it, so we'll just say it's on there. Very true. Like, it doesn't matter. We know he did touch it, so just be like, yeah, of course there is something. Like, why not? Fuck it. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create an indicator solution required for Mr. Sholm's skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. No. Mr. Shamsphere, as one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's haul is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. No. So, Mr. Shamsphere, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hand on Selden's stolen wealth. In
that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key.
No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it! It's over, Mr. Shamsphere. No! No! You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa! No, Shamsphere, despair be thy name. He just dies in confetti. He just shits confetti and dies. I thought only unicorns do that. I'm still saying that this is the guy from the last case in the first half who was pretending to be rich. I still think this is the same guy, but I could be wrong. No, I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods. Yet after you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. Why? It was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Yeah, he did say that. He was 3 months behind. Mr. Gator really has a lot to put up. Really has had a lot to put up with. And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease.
Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing.
Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And, if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again try your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe to feed the stove into his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you to a deadly trap.
William Shamsphere, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. No. Oh well, you'll never catch me. Bye. Boom. This wasn't my trial, which means you can't actually arrest me for this. See ya. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation that night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply?
Yeah, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason.
That's no joke.
They say it's the convict's curse.
Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is.
Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place.
There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight?
No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember?
So, remember kids, who gives a fuck if you're married or not? Just spend nights at your significant other's life. At your significant other's place. It might save your life. Yeah, you know what? The gas stove does keep going out. Yeah, I'll spend the night at your place for a while till I find a new one. Oh, okay, that's a good way to do this. But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If I'd only known that was going to happen, I would have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school, but something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day I was there. He walked up the road to grub his grubbery or some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking. But how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I had heard about how the gas companies go investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? Yeah, you mean?
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. That just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I'd heard that idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in East End.
A black market?
I've never been. I just heard people talking about them. And you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made it even more determined. I had to find out, one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
Damn, you're saying that the only reason why you even tried the poison Shamsphere is because you had access to a means of killing him? So if you didn't have access to an easy means of killing him, you wouldn't have tried it in the first place? Damn. Damn, well, that's an obvious lie. Get her.
Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
And you chose method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smeared poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shamsphere was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shamsphere. Then I wrote him his little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slogan Salad on Briar Road at 5 PM on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else how this letter of the meeting is. Is it a matter of utmost importance? If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough, so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shamsphere followed the instructions to the letter.
It worked out where the gas pipe was straight away, so I smeared a good amount of the poison he'd brought all around the mouth of the pipe. At the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done and that it was all just some weird wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done and that the culprit would get his just desserts.
"3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me. This whole affair seemed relatively straightforward.
Yes, my lord.
I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that would subsequently be lurking behind the scenes.
It has been a long road, my Nymphony's friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green,
Yes, my lord.
you were henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamsphere.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shamsphere, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Sosuke Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruto,
Yes?
yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friend stopped me from...
From ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle?
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad of you being here, Miss Green.
Oh,
And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shamsphere didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Because if he did die when he ingested the poison, we wouldn't have had the connections to come back to see you, and you would have killed yourself. And we never would have gotten Sosuke off the case because we wouldn't have had all this extra testimony, like the gas and stuff. We would just have been lost, had no connections, and it would just have been, yeah, he's guilty. We can't figure out a way. We couldn't find evidence to prove it's not him, even though we can make a lot of evidence to prove it probably wasn't him. But that's not the way this works.
because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really? I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Sosuke Natsume,
Yes, my lord.
the court declares that you are exonerated from the blame for this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
I are in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant
Not guilty.
or not guilty. Confetti court. Court is adjourned.
Damn it, I wanted him to be found guilty so he could never come back, even though we've seen him in the future where he's alive in Japan, and hopefully will never come back. I really hope this is the last time we've seen his character. We saw him in the the first one where he's in Japan in the future from here. So hopefully he's gone and no more. He'll probably show up at the very end just to be like, hey, it all came together. But hopefully, if I swear to God, if he's in the third case, and I have to keep doing the voice, I'm gonna change his. No, I'm not gonna change his voice. Fuck that.
No, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done.
Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache.
No, this has nothing to do with my mustache.
Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Sholmes.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, once again, you saved me from doom.
I'm very happy to have been to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days.
I was first acquainted with the gained affection from English literature whilst on our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not?
You did, and I've seen more in one life this week than I have in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog.
My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of England, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans have had the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live.
Well said. How come they feel the same way?
I've made a decision, too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
What? That thing we already knew you were going to do? You're doing it now?
Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame. No, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I decided to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my, you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful.
No, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature.
Why not? And that's precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. Ah, that's very true.
And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. That's right, even we are tired of you in this story. Get the fuck out of here. If we have to defend you a third time in 3 days, I swear to God, we're letting you rot.
My goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure. But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it.
Objection! And that was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Sosuke-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Sasada was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. Also, Mr. Sholmes never showed us what the fucking treasure was, that asshole. On the back of the telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. '24th of February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room.
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes?
As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Gregsy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley.
Happily? I think perhaps humorously might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling.
And what's in it? What exactly is the loot?
Let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's haul.
What is that? A bloody collar. Oh, for the Hound of the Baskervilles. Okay. It's even got the big B on it.
It looks like some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's huge, though.
And looks at all the gemstones set in it. I see why it was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps it could have been in his belt. Oh, have you noticed the inside there? There's some dark stains.
You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then, of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown.
What does it signify, do you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been?
That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Sholmes? All the color is drained from his face.
Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key.
Oh, miss. Get your grubby hands off of it, you lot, and hand it over now.
I've never seen a collar that large before, and all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out the most to me, at least not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar, those stains, could they really have been blood?
Well, that's all a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man and convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a 2-part story.
Oh, I can't wait.
A word please, Iris.
Yes, what is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity.
Oh, damn. Look, I'm doing some real good shit with my voice this time. Damn. Oh, yeah. See, I'm doing some new voice unlocked. Damn, I'm good.
Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again. with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Finally. Okay. We're going to save here. And then tomorrow... So what I'm going to be doing is I won't be having a later stream tonight. I am doing something tonight, so there will not be a second stream today. Tomorrow, however, is going to be a free and open day, as it normally is. So I will be doing an early stream, the first part of this case tomorrow, and then my normal time at 7 p.m. I will continue with the next part of the case. That way, I can get at least maybe 5 hours or so, maybe 6 hours of case number 3 tomorrow, and get a big chunk of it done right away. So I'm like I said, I'm going to be ending here for now. But tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a nice, huge chunk of this again, so we can get back into the form. It's just been the last couple days. I've had other things to do, but the schedule is going to go back to its normal time again. So tomorrow, I'll have an early stream, and then my normal time stream. Wednesday will just be an early stream. Thursday will just be an early stream, and then I'll do some stuff on the weekends or be back on Monday and Tuesday for 2 streams again next week as well. And we're going to just continuing a whole bunch of Ace Attorney. Maybe a little bit of Mega Man in there. Well, we'll see. I do want to keep doing some more Mega Man. Anyway. Thank you all for watching. This took a long-ass time to finish up this case. Yeah, like, having this extra case just kind of slid in there. Because, like I said, I can't tell if they always meant this case to be here or if this was just something they manufactured as a fake one that they didn't reveal until now that Iris was hiding what was happening, but or Sherlock Holmes was trying to hide that it's happened. Like, it's fine that this was here. Some of it just feels like a little bit clunky. Like maybe they intended the original case to be linkable to everything, and they just couldn't get it to work right. Because even the inclusion of Mrs. Green was still off, right? If this was just, hey, we went and we checked in with Mrs. Green and we started a new investigation, and that investigation didn't have a trial, but we found out a whole bunch of stuff, and like my assumption is Mr. Shamsphere isn't dead, right? Because if Mr. Shamsphere didn't, let's say they found Shamsphere's body dead, and like we would have to assume Shamsphere is not coming back. However, I think Shamsphere is going to come back in the story. That's why they couldn't just have had him dead, and then we talked about investigating the scene, and we would have investigated it had Sholmes do his his logic and reasoning corner, and then with the skin print things, we would have found the hidden treasure. And he just would have been dead, and we would investigate it, and Sosuke wouldn't have been arrested for it. Like, or if this was Sosuke was packing up because he said he was going to leave after the case, and then we did like this exploration and was only an investigation chapter with no trial. Because the first half of the game they did a trial only, and then they did an investigation only. And I was kind of wondering if they would do that in this half as well, considering it was originally split into 2 games. But they only did a starter trial, and then they just did this big, large trial with 2 investigation portions in it. So I think maybe this entire thing would have gone faster if Shamsphere actually didn't matter. If we were doing an investigation and we eventually connected why Mrs. Green was here and why Shamsphere was dead, and there wasn't a trial connected to it, maybe? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. But, like I said, it was just weird connecting Mrs. Green to the case and trying to drag her into the court without any other evidence. So it just felt like, and the whole gas thing took a long time to get done. Like, it took a long time. We needed evidence to prove it was gas. We had to do the jury found him guilty. Let's
press the jury to now find him non-guilty so we can continue going back. Like, it felt like this case was very padded. Like they threw an entire court case in along with an entire investigation thing, like 2 investigation things connected to one. Like almost this could have been, like case 2 could have been split into like a tutorial investigation and then a separate trial. But it doesn't matter. It's all done. And now it's set up. The more important stuff is setting up why the story Iris couldn't write about it, because I think Hound of the Baskervilles had to do with something Sholmes is hiding, and is probably even connected to her father being murdered in Japan. And we also get our little Hound of the Baskervilles teaser and a little clue. So it's not bad that it's here. It's just, I wonder why they made this a massive case when it probably could just have been an investigation where we just found the collar after, like, we're getting Natsume out of the house. Oh, look, his neighbor is dead, and we're talking to Mr. Garadeb again, and his wife's been arrested, which still weird that his wife was arrested, even though it was like an accident. But, you know, I can still see why, because even if there wasn't an intent to do the stabbing, she was throwing a deadly weapon at her husband. But anyway. All right, so thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, which we will start this case right here, episode 3, The Return of the Great Departed Soul. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow.